All right, we are back, finishing the song from last time. My rather quixotic wish list for this video is that we double track everything, maybe finish up the structure of the song a little bit, and hopefully record vocals. I know it's a lot, but I think we can do it in this episode. Oh my god, it's windy. It's so windy, and I shaved right before this. This is definitely how it feels to chew 5 gum. I feel like the meteorologist when they send them out to report on an active volcano or whatever. By the way, I was quite chuffed reading the comments on the last video. A lot of people were saying, not me, but a lot of people, they were saying my playing sounds just like Johnny Marr. Janglin' Johnny, that's what I call him. No, but really, that's such a compliment to me. I said last time I'm a disabled guitarist. You know, I don't really have any expectations for my playing at all, which honestly, that's probably a pretty good philosophy to adopt if you're learning any instrument, but I've never had some sort of grandiose expectation as to the quality of my playing. So to be uttered in the same breath as Johnny fucking Marr, that's quite a compliment. Thank you guys so much. Anyway, I'm thinking we're going to start with drums today. Double tracking the drums, that is. Yes, I double track the drums. You heard that right. It's because I work with MIDI. It's sort of hard to get a really nice room sound if all you're working with are some samples. Plus, I really like the song Needles in the Camel's Eye by Brian Eno, and that song I believe has double track drums on it. I think I noticed that and I was like, did he double track the drums on this? And by all appearances, the answer would be yes. So I think we're going to get in, get out of this wind, and wow. Ideally work on those. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's the next day already. Yeah, I have no idea what I have just been through, but it was crazy. I guess I'll describe it more as I start doing some drums here, but dang, when I was saying that my wish list for today's video was quixotic, I was being optimistic. I was like, oh, we've got so much to do. Ha ha ha, let's go chase some windmills. Wrong. No, the windmills are sentient, and they hate you, and they want you to die. At least that's how it felt yesterday when I was trying to record this. Yeah, it's been brutal. But we can finally sit down and start double tracking all of the instruments. At long last, we can finally get this song finished. So let's take a look here at what I do for drums. So I use this VST called Grace by One Small Clue. Shout out to them for making this. This is a very useful VST. And basically, you can just throw in your samples into this waveform right here. As you can see here, I have a bus that contains all of the drum tracks that I'm using. And I just make a MIDI item for each one of these. Right here we've got the kick, we've got the tom right here. As you can see, I place some notes higher than others. It gives a sort of different rhythmic quality to the playing of the instrument. In a way, it's almost like the poor man's velocity humanization. I think it's most important for like snare runs like this. Now, when it comes to double tracking these suckers, I like to put everything all to one side and duplicate the track, call it kick 2. I go into Grace. We can see here that we have standard kick EQ in here. I'm just going to throw a normal kick in there. And this is actually stereo because this is from before I recorded my samples mono. So hopefully this doesn't cause problems with like phase or even mixing to some extent. I'm not really experienced enough to know if it's a faux pas or not to have stereo tracks inside a project that's mostly mono recordings. But hey, whatever. It's indie rock, okay? We do what we want. Hey, if you're enjoying the video so far, I'd really appreciate if you left a like down below. My name's Luke Exuberance, the public universal bandmate, which means if you're watching this, you are in my band now. I'd really appreciate if you stuck around by subscribing as well. And with that, I gotta get back to these drums. But yeah, that's what I like to do. We have to make sure that this one is hard panned to the right. Do the same thing for the toms. We'll just throw crash 2 in there, get it looking like the other one in terms of waveform, and hard pan it. And with that, we've got double track drums. So let's just play it and see what it sounds like. I'm responding viscerally. So I do think that some of the right hand drums are a little more powerful, so I'll go in and clean those up, but that's basically the method to the madness here. Like I said earlier, it kind of creates that Brian Eno needles in the camel's eye sort of effect, where it's like you're in a sensory deprivation chamber filled with percussion. I don't know why that sounds like something Fred Armisen would say in Portlandia, but
you hear that snap? You hear that clap?
Hey, that's kind of the reality of being a bedroom musician sometimes. All right, I did some thinking, and something I want to do is add another layer of variation in the double tracked drums. And I'm thinking of doing that just by switching the stress on the notes, like so. We can do that here as well, and kind of just go through these with a fine-tooth comb. So as for what happened yesterday, I was having technical difficulties all damn day. I can't even believe it. Even when I recorded that intro that you saw, that was preceded by at least half an hour of messing around on my laptop, because I use my laptop to record my microphone audio when I'm outside. But my laptop is jank. It is old and crummy and probably going to die soon. But in any event, it was giving me a lot of grief. A Windows update came out of nowhere and it got stuck downloading it. And I was trying to be patient. And after about 30 minutes or so, just standing outside in the dirt and wind and sand with my laptop, I was like, I'm sick of this. So I'm going inside. I threw my laptop on the charger because it was probably going to die out there anyways. I asked my brother if he would lend me his laptop so that way I could record on there, because he has Audacity on there as well. The problem was he had a more updated version of Audacity than I do, so I had to update Audacity on this computer that I'm recording on currently in order to access the narration file that I recorded. And then after I did that, I realized I could not record with Open Broadcast software, which I use to record my screen, and Audacity at the same time, and I had no idea what was going on. I was messing around with drivers all damn day, and it's never as simple as just clicking update on your driver for whatever reason. It should be, that's kind of the option Windows gives you is update driver, and you should just be able to click that and it updates the driver. But no, I had to search my PC, and it wasn't necessarily difficult, but it was a lot of messing around trying to get the right driver downloaded. And so eventually I got it figured out, and I sat down to record, and then I find out my webcam driver is out of date as well, and it's a Logitech driver, so for some reason I have 6 of them on my computer, so it was trying different webcam drivers, restarting my computer, finding out that driver was not the right one, restarting my computer again with another driver, and it was just chaos. I got absolutely nothing done yesterday. And so now the wish list is even more quixotic. It's even more pie in the sky, because we really do have to get this song done. Art is never finished. It is only abandoned, as they say. And so I'm hoping to abandon this one soon. I've got some ideas for some lyrics. Well, when I say I've got some ideas for some lyrics, I mean I have the conceptions of an idea for some lyrics. Good Lord, it's been raining all goddamn day here. Every time it does, it messes up the lighting. I do not appreciate it, folks. Sometimes I wonder if I'm the everybody that Thurston Moore is talking about, because it seems like every time I make one of these videos, I invariably end up talking about the stormy weather. That's one for all you Sonic Youth heads out there. Believe it or not, I'm not one of you. Yet. I only know Teenage Riot and Cool Thing. I know Death Valley 1969 as well. And all 3 of those songs rip. So honestly, if you have a mind to proselytize the gospel of Sonic Youth, I would happily entertain all of your recommendations down below. I'm begging you, please show me the light of Kim Gordon. Okay, but seriously, you're probably wondering, Luke, why are you in the chair and not in Reaper? Why aren't you reaping? there's no two ways about it. There's good news and there's bad news. The good news is I did a little mining off camera. That's right. I buckled down. I double tracked the guitars. I recorded some new bass parts. And I panned all of the instruments as I saw fit. All in all, it sounds something like this. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of that. The mix is honestly killer, and we haven't even properly mixed it yet. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. All in all, this song is showing a lot of promise, which unfortunately brings us to the bad news. You see, even though I was just waxing philosophical about art being abandoned, I think the fact that this song is showing some promise means that we shouldn't abandon it quite yet. You know, as much as I would like to release a song and a video every single week, I would rather they both be good. Could I have stammered some lyrics into existence and sprinted my way through a vocal performance as I had outlined in the goals that I set for this video? Maybe, but it wouldn't have been good. It would have been bad. And I don't mean bad as in like, wait until the Rate Your Music guys get a load of this one, although that's certainly part of it. No, I mean, it wouldn't be soulful. You know, making content is one thing, making art is another thing, and my long-term goal with this channel is to sort of synthesize the two. I want to show that the story of a song's creation can be just as important as the song itself, especially in this day and age where you can vomit out a prompt and get a song in return. But with that being said, I refuse to let the dark god of the algorithm dictate our release schedule. So, on that note, I'm sincerely sorry if you were excited to hear our first completed song together in this video. I'm a little bummed myself. However, every mushroom cloud has a strontium-90 lining, and if there's one thing that makes today's tactical retreat at all serendipitous, it's the foreknowledge that there are reinforcements on the way. Yes, that's right. We are incorporating the first musical submission from another band member in the next video. In fact, in tandem with yesterday's technical difficulties and software snafus, it was kind of a deciding factor in cutting the video here. I really wanted to give a voice to other members of the band, and if I had kind of just, banged out our first song all on my own today, it would have been a bit of a bummer to kind of like leave someone's own creation out in the cold like that. I don't want to spoil too much, but that's going to be our first order of business next time. Then we're going to write some lyrics, we're going to record some vocals. I'm going to make the album art, which I know it sounds like a lot again, and you're probably already used to me being a delusional romantic in terms of workflow and productivity. But I promise making album art is quite easy. It's probably the thing I'm actually best at. So I apologize again for the cliffhanger, but I think we're going to be well on our way next time. If you are excited for that, I would really appreciate if you subscribed down below. I've been Luke Exuberance, the Public Universal Bandmate. If you liked the video, leave a like, and I'll be seeing you at our next practice. Peace.